Often considered to be the world's greatest opera, and certainly one of its most popular, The Marriage of Figaro has been entertaining audiences since 1786. But just what is the story all about? Well, it's Figaro and Susanna's wedding day, and nothing is going according to plan.
Well, The Marriage of Figaro is one of the greatest operas ever written, so there's really not a nutshell here to talk about to simplify the story. It has complex characters with complex stories about love, and well, love's complex.
Marriage of Figaro, it's a comedy, but it's much more than that finally, because it's really, you have love, you have jealousy, you have anger, you have aristocratic pride.
It's about relationships, relationships that are going really well and some relationships that are not going so well.
It's about a couple trying to protect what they deserve.
So Figaro and Susanna want to get married. They work at this house that's kind of like Downton Abbey for these two, the Count and the Countess.
And they're bosses, but I mean it's a little bit more than that. The Count and the Countess interfering with their lives, and actually really the Count trying to get between, sort of like a Braveheart story.
Before they get married, the Count wants to have his way and have like a little bit of fun, like adult time fun with Susanna. And the story of The Marriage of Figaro is kind of how Figaro, the Count, and the Countess try to stop that from happening.
It's about friendships that sort of transcend their status.
Then it's sort of just like this escapade that never lets up until the end.
We have the nobles and we have their servants, and they both need each other, and they try to help each other out.
This opera was written at a time when there was great strife amongst the classes. And so this story is about servants, which were then an underclass, basically gaining their own power and outsmarting the people that were trying to control them. Some would argue a timely story, so here we are.
You know, I've been doing it for 40 years. It seems to be whenever you do it, there always is a privilege to be attacked.
Our wonderful director and designer have created a world of Mozart's time. But what's wonderful about it is they've brought a modern attitude to the characters.
What Leslie Travis and I have tried to do with it is to make it much more flexible.
What ends up happening is an intelligent, highly kinetic production that takes us on a journey.
It's not your standard Figaro by any stretch.
This opera, of all the operas I do, is my absolute favorite.
I have 100 favorite moments. It's my favorite opera.
I became a big old opera queen when I was 14, and I would sit with the score of Marriage of Figaro and listen to a cassette tape that I illegally recorded off of the radio. Don't tell them that. I think the statute of limitations is off on that now.
It's just so much fun.
I think there is nothing actually better than this, really.
The play itself can sit on its own. It's a fantastic story. That's not always the case in opera. When you combine that with Mozart's music, you have this marriage of, Marriage of Figaro.